Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dead Talk Live. I'm Viz from Walking Dead Now. Our broadcast tonight and every night is simultaneously live streamed to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I want to welcome all our first time viewers as well as our regular viewers. We hope you can spend the next hour with us and enjoy a little bit of Walking Dead conversation. If you haven't already done so, we ask that you head on over to our YouTube channel after the show and subscribe to our channel, which is called Walking Dead Now. You can find out all the information about our show by visiting our website located at deadtalklive.com. Marko tonight is going to be handling the chats as always, or almost as always, and I'll be talking to you guys live on the air. So I apologize for being a little late tonight. We are in the middle of a nasty thunderstorm here in Virginia. It is nasty out there, and I hope we don't lose power. Hey Saz, how you doing? Hey Heart Productions, welcome back. Trust God 73, Ismail, how you guys doing? ZT Gidry has joined us. How's everyone feeling tonight? It's Wednesday, hump day. Hope everyone is doing well. Hey ZT, thank you for joining us. Inside, Inia Silva has joined us. Micah has joined us on Instagram. Hi Inai, how you doing? Zambika, Andrew Valentine has joined us. Toby has joined us. Thank you for joining us, Toby. I hope you could stay with us for this next hour. Hey Andrew, trust God. Really good. She said really good, thank you. I hope everyone is doing well. Like I said, it's been a nasty day. I don't see Summer yet joining us today. There was like this big storm that I read about that rolled through Indiana, Michigan, and knocked out power to 350,000 people. So when I read that, I'm like, uh-oh, I hope Summer has power. So if we don't see her tonight, it's probably because she doesn't have any power. So I hope she has power, and I hope we get to see her. Brandy is waving at us. Hey Brandy on Instagram, how you doing? Becca has joined us on Instagram. ZT Gidry writes, I am ready. Good, so am I. I am ready too, and I've got some exciting stuff tonight to show you guys. So let me bring that up. For those of you that watched there's a bug flying here. For those of you guys that watched last night's episode, I hope you really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Special thank you to Gypsy Road, his brother Bob, and Ceiling Fan Man for joining me live on the air. Just a lot of fun, but it was also a learning experience for me. In this whole broadcasting thing, I have never had 3 video guests on at the same time. And I underestimated the situation. I really thought that we can do the show and still stick to our foundational theme, which is viewer interaction, but it just did not quite work out that way. It was a learning experience for me when you have that many guests on and everybody, is talking. It's very difficult to look over at the chats and then also listen to what your guests are saying. So I'm on a learning curve. I want to thank Marko for handling the chats last night and talking to you guys. I was looking over and seeing what you guys were writing, so I apologize though for not being able to get to some of your comments and questions. Lulu is waving at us. Hey Lulu. Aki Jr. is giving me a thumbs up. Hey Aki, thank you for joining us. Trust God writes, had a good time laughing. Good. I'm glad you guys enjoyed us. Message for Norman has joined us. So, message for Norman. What is the message you would like to send Norman Reedus? Just on the off chance that Norman is watching this right now. What message do you want me to relay to Norman Reedus for you? Message writes, hey, Ismail writes, funny shit is happening. You know how Fear the Walking Dead in the first season they had military zones? It's the same here in Morocco. They divided us because of the virus. Hope they don't leave. Oh God, yeah. If you start seeing them evacuating, leave. Because we all know what happened in Fear after the military backed out. Frida has joined us on Instagram. Marty Boyd has joined us on Instagram. A-Body has joined us on Instagram. So, okay, message for Norman writes, it's on my profile. I made a since some message video, and I hope you will see it. All right, cool. I will have to go on your profile after the show and check out the message you sent for Norman. I'm just dying. I'm dying to know what you sent him. Mancini Yasmin has joined us. Paige has joined us on Instagram. So yeah, last night's show was a lot of fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Uh, Learning curve for me with the guests. Next time, when we have that many guests, Marko, I'm gonna have multiple people monitoring the chats. It'll be Marko and Saz, because Marko was going back and forth like a crazy man last night. Uh, Message for Norman writes, "Thank you so much." Oh, no need to thank me. I'd love to check out your profile. Flavor Lee's joined us on Instagram. Ismail writes, "Yeah, who was Ceiling Fan Man?" Ceiling Fan Man is just a panel guy that joins Gypsy Road on his show, and he's funny. He's very knowledgeable on a whole bunch of different stuff, and all those guys together just make a really fun group. You know what I mean? They just make a really fun group, and I was really surprised at the amount of knowledge that they had in horror movies. It was a lot. I thought it would be us educating them on The Walking Dead, but it turned out to be very equal, back and forth. Summer here? Summer is here. Summer, we were just talking about you. I just mentioned that storm that I read about today near where you live in Indiana, Michigan, and I thought you may have lost power. And I said if Summer doesn't join us today, it's because she probably doesn't have power. Anyway, Summer, I'm glad that you do have power. I hope you have power and that you're joining us tonight. So glad to have you with us, Summer. Luca writes, "Who is my favorite character?" Rick. Rick is my favorite. Will always be my favorite. Marco writes, "They knew as much as I about horror movies." Yeah, Marco, I was surprised. I thought we would be getting them schooled on horror movies, but damn, they were knowledgeable. They knew their stuff. Zambika writes, "It was crazy here in Michigan, but I have power still, thank goodness." Yeah, it's crazy out here in Virginia right now. The lightning is crazy. It's lighting up the whole sky. It's ridiculous. Anna Clara has joined us on Instagram. Summer writes, "I'm in southern Indiana near Kentucky. No storm here." Okay, good. Good, good. Nash.grows joined us on Instagram. Ismail feels, haha, I feel doubt in you when you say Rick is your favorite. No, no doubt. It's just, it's hard for me to single out just one person. I have so many favorites. But, gun to my head, having to pick one, it's Rick. Message for Norman writes, "Have you a character who you really don't like?" Oh, a lot of the antagonists. Negan was a dick in season 7. I hated the governor. We've had our share of weasels. Nicholas, who got Noah killed, didn't like him at all. I hated those cocky bastards in Alexandria. When the group first arrived, that would they would be the ones that would go out on runs, and they had that walker hanging from a tree or whatever. Yeah, those guys were idiots. I hate them. A lot of messages coming in. Luca writes, "My favorite is Daryl and Glenn with Jesus and Morgan being close second." Okay. Brandy Pennick writes, "Carol has definitely got to be a favorite." Yes, she is. She's definitely one of my favorites. Zambika writes, "My favorite is Rick. I like a lot of them, but he's my favorite." I agree. Marco doesn't like Gabriel. Luca writes, "Gareth was kind of badass." Yeah, he had that next door neighbor kind of look to him, good old wholesome boy. Yeah, yeah, but he ate people. So that doesn't make him a good guy. He liked to eat people. Let's see. Ismail writes, Ismail is asking Marco, "What about Aaron?" Yeah, you forgot Aaron. Trust God, Rick all day long. Marco writes, loved him on air. And Face has joined us. Hey, Face on Instagram. Selfie has joined us on Instagram. Hello, brother. Face. Laraza Juan has joined us. Official Monkey 18 has joined us. Alexander Crazy has joined us. Wow, we have a large crowd tonight for a Wednesday night. That's crazy. Our largest viewing nights are Friday and Sunday night. You know, that holds true for like television and everything else. Friday and Sunday nights are the big nights where everybody's at home and they're watching TV and so on. But we have a huge crowd tonight. Thank you for joining us, guys. Let's move on to some stuff, okay? Now, literally just before the show started tonight, our viewer from all the platforms, he's currently on Instagram tonight, Toby, sent me a picture that he drew. And, he asked me first, can I send you something? I'm like, of course, I would love to see it. And I was blown away when I saw this. I'm like, can I please share this tonight with everyone? And I just got to show you guys, this is a picture that was drawn by Toby. Okay, our viewer Toby. This is an amazing picture. You guys are going to freak out. Check this out. He did this. Our viewer Toby from the UK did this. And I'm just like blown away. I'm debating whether or not to send this in to a professional portrait shop and get this framed on my wall, if Toby would allow me to. Toby, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, what do you guys think? Marco, everybody's like, great job. Marco's like, oh, wow, that is amazing. I hope Madison Lintz gets to see this. That's a great idea. You know, I'm going to send this to Madison Lintz, Toby, on your behalf. I'm going to send this to Madison Lintz on your behalf, Toby, if you don't mind. But this is an amazing picture, Toby. You are one talented man. And everybody loves it. Everybody loves it, Toby. I love it. I was just blown away when I saw this. And to know that you did this, wow. Awesome. Awesome. Toby writes, I don't mind. Good. After the show, I'm going to share this with Madison Lintz on Instagram. I'm going to share this with her. And I'm going to give her your Instagram and to make sure that she knows you drew this and you shared it with me so I could share with our audience. But I can just stare at this all day long. And Toby writes, I'm doing some more of these. Oh, please. Send them over when they're done. Steven Garza on YouTube writes, awesome. Oh, no, sorry. Saschick says awesome. Steven Garza writes, I'm jealous. Yeah, I can't draw. Yeah, like Marco, I can't draw stick figures. You're an artist. You're an artist. And Ismail writes, we have some very great talented people here. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You know, Zambika was telling me about, an artist that she knows. And, I'm looking forward to that, Zambika, as well. I haven't forgotten. And we have a lot of artists in here. Everybody's talent. Everybody has the talent. Everybody does. Everyone is so special and unique and creative. I love to just see what people can come up with in whatever field it is. So, Toby, hats off, man. Hats off. Like I said, I may get this sent over to a print shop and hang this on my wall. I may get this hung on my wall, and I'm not kidding either. I'm dead serious. So, a Lungstrump has joined us on Instagram. Trust God writes, looks so real. Great job, Toby. Zambika writes, this is so awesome. Yes. So, let's move on. Marco has gone all Pinterest crazy on me, and he's been sending me these amazing pictures. Now, I don't know how many of you guys saw the Rick Grimes picture that I posted on my social media today. This is it. It just exploded with views and likes. People went crazy over this picture. And I had this one poor woman who really thought this was like a poster from the movies or something. And she was desperate to find out. Please tell me, she was saying, please tell me this is not real. Please tell me he's not a walker. Please, please, please. She was desperate. And Brandy Panic says, oh my God, I love it. Louise Previes joined us on Instagram. Toby loves it. Dude, I can't imagine. Ismail writes, I can't imagine Rick as a walker. Message for Norman writes, I love this. Yeah, this is on my Instagram, my Twitter, my Facebook. It just went viral. Not viral, but it just exploded within seconds of me posting it. And last I checked, it had like over 33 comments. And everybody loved it. And this one woman, I felt so bad. She messaged 2 times. Her first question was, please, someone tell me this is not real. Please, please, please. And then she waited a few minutes and she made another post, say, someone answer me. And I saw her post and I'm like, no, relax. This is just a fan. This is a fan, a very creative, talented fan on Photoshop who did a great job on this Rick Grimes picture, which I love. And I wanted to share it with all of my followers on my social media and with all you guys tonight. Sass Chick says, love it, but don't want to see Rick as a walker. Trust God has given us 2 thumbs up. Zambika's like, oh my God, no. Tony Gillespie has joined us on Instagram. Eileen Franco has joined us on Instagram. Thank you for joining us, guys. Yeah, so anybody who's seeing this picture, and if you see anybody commenting, please let them know that this is just fan art. This is just a fan, a very talented fan on Photoshop who made this amazing picture that Marko found, and he sent it over to me, which I immediately shared on my social media. This is not a poster from the movie. This is not any kind of spoiler or anything like that. It's just one of many, 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 many talented fans and people out there showing off what they can do. And I love this picture as well. Kellen has joined us. Marty has joined us. Trish has joined us on Instagram. Thank you all you guys for being here tonight. So let's move on to some more pictures that Marko sent me today. This one's funny. Now, I know I mentioned I don't like memes, which I really don't, but these are some funny ones, okay? Carol, get in the shower, Daryl. Daryl, I don't wanna. I thought this was hysterical. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of memes, but I thought this was hysterical. I wanted to share it with you guys. Ismail is laughing. Seaworth99 has joined us on Instagram. Ismail writes, man, gotta take editing lessons. Brandy Pernick writes, LOL, but I love this one. Trust God this is funny. Hard Productions on YouTube is laughing. Yeah, this is hysterical. Get in the shower, Daryl. I don't wanna. Raz HGY is giving us a smiley love face. Thank you for joining us, Raz. Trust God writes, now that's funny. Okay. This is another one right here. Okay, so on top, we have Ron, idiot. Eugene, idiot. Morgan, super idiot. And then Sam, king of all idiots. I thought this was another cute one. Idiot, idiot, super idiot, king of all idiots. I thought this was hysterical as well. Marko says he doesn't remember that scene where that Daryl picture was taken from. Neither do I. Saz, I don't know if you remember that picture of Daryl crying, which episode there was. He's gotten emotional so many times throughout the show. I don't know, but judging on the length of his hair, it has to be season 3. Sometime in season 3. So, Hard Productions writes, God, I hated Sam. Yeah, yeah. Sam, Mr. Chocolate Chip Boy, Chocolate Chip Boy. Yeah, he had his annoying moments. Hard Productions on YouTube writes, that Daryl pic was from when he found Merle as a walker. So there you go, Marco. That Daryl picture of him crying was when he found his brother Merle as a walker. Oh, there you go. You already answered. And Brandy answered. And Seaworth has answered. So there. You guys are all in agreement. That was when when Daryl found out Merle had turned. The governor killed him and left him to turn. Carson Pratt has joined us. Mannix has joined us on Instagram. Diego has joined us on Instagram. So let's move on. Now this is for all the people that watch Fear the Walking Dead. Now, if you don't watch Fear the Walking Dead, you're not going to get this. Okay? You probably don't even have no clue who Chris is. Chris, I guess if you were to compare Chris from Fear the Walking Dead to a Walking Dead character, I guess you would have to pick Lizzie, who is played by Brighton Charbonneau. Was played by Brighton Charbonneau. Chris, I felt was a very misunderstood character on Fear the Walking Dead. He felt he did not belong anywhere. He did some really stupid things, trying to belong, got in with the wrong crowd. And Brandy Pennick writes, total douche on Instagram. Zambika writes, those are so funny. This one is so funny. Yeah, so Summer writes, oh, I get this. I do not like this kid. Yeah, I mean, he did not handle... He's not cut out to be a survivor in the zombie apocalypse. He's just not cut out. He wasn't cut out. He didn't handle it very well. And it ultimately, led to his fateful ending. Tara T has joined us on Instagram. Ismail writes, he was a douche, but his heart was in the right place. Yeah, I just felt he was... Andrew Valentine writes, Chris was a dick. He was, and I just felt a big part of him, he was just misunderstood. He was just really misunderstood. But he really made some really stupid ass decisions as well. So anyway, let's move on to some more announcements here. Let me flip the screen back. I do have one more thing on the picture. It's more of an article cut out that I want to read to you guys. I got this new boom for my microphone today. So it's, instead of me, how I'm used to it being below me, now it's off to the side. And I'm just getting used to it. So just trying to adjust. So if you see me messing with it, that's what I'm doing. So thank you, Marco, for sending us all those pics. Andrew J. West, who played Gareth. We talked about him the 2 nights ago. Okay, he's the actor that played Gareth. And apparently when his time on the show was coming to an end, when Rick hacked him to pieces, they, for the filming, obviously, they gave Rick a rubber machete. And apparently Rick went to town on him so badly, he was in pain for 10 weeks afterwards. Now, I feel bad for the actor, who was in pain. For Gareth, I don't feel bad for the character. I mean, Andrew Lincoln was probably taking out a lot of frustration out on Andrew West there, who played Gareth. But, he was like bruised and in pain because, Andrew Lincoln was going to town on him with that rubber machete for a while. And he was in pain for like 10 weeks, he revealed in an interview. And remembering that scene of Gareth getting chopped up in the church, I'm like, we don't really get to see Gareth getting hacked where, you would actually need Rick to be hitting him with a prop machete. But then I remembered how the camera angles would flip and they would show Abraham hacking up, doing his thing, hacking up that other Terminus person, and then it would flip again and it would show Sasha hacking up the other one, and Rick was in the middle. So I don't quite remember like that scene. I know they didn't show Gareth getting sliced to pieces by Rick. So it must have been just like as they were, maybe they filmed it and it got cut. That could have very well have happened. It could have been too gruesome and it was just ended up on the editing floor. Never made it to the TV screen. That's the only thing I can think of. Marko writes, the character is hard to like, but the show filters out the weak characters. Zambika writes, the trick with Fear is to wait and be patient after the first season. It just continues to get better. I absolutely agree with you, Zambika. First rule, don't benchmark Fear the Walking Dead against The Walking Dead. And try to make it through the first season and give it, go into the second season and beyond, and it does get better. And it gets really good to where we are right now, waiting for season 6 to start. Marko writes, the cast is amazing now. Brandy Pennick writes, agreed, on Instagram. Summer writes, this is the Lord's house. When Father Gabe said that, I about fell out. Yeah. That's funny. Gabriel giving advice about the Lord's house when he locked everybody out and let them get eaten alive. He's the last one that should be talking. That's so Genesis writes, I agree, on Instagram. JP Barbos has joined us on Instagram. Brandy writes, that's what everyone does. It's great. So that's a little bit of a tidbit about Andrew West, who played Gareth. Poor Gareth. Remember his action figure? We had to give him away. Nobody wanted the Gareth action figure. So we ended up giving him away with Summer won Rick, and we gave it away. We gave her Gareth. So Summer, I hope Gareth, the action figure, is not bringing any bad mojo over to your house. So, Brandy Pennick goes on to write, Gabriel is a badass now, though. He is. Brandy, and if you're joining us for the first time, Brandy, I've mentioned this a lot in the past. I don't think Gabriel's going to make it past the finale. I don't see Gabriel making it out of this next episode alive. I think we're going to lose him, which is very close to where we lost him in the comic books. Alioso EXE has joined us on Instagram. Moonlight Warrior Princess has joined. That's an awesome name. Moonlight Warrior Princess has joined us on Instagram. Moonlight, I just want you to know that I think your Instagram name is kick ass. Moonlight Warrior Princess. Awesome. Love it. Brandy says, no, yeah, I think we're going to lose Gabriel. I really do. It is just my opinion, Marko, but I think it's going to happen. Hey, Moonlight, love your name. Love your name. Thank you for joining us. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, Screen Rant. Okay, interesting article. Not much in revelation as to why Glenn had to die. They wrote an article today why Glenn had to die. Nothing I haven't discussed before. His death was vital for Maggie to take her character turn. But I took the interesting part, the snippet, and I took a screenshot of it for you guys, and I'm going to read it out to you guys. Don't you guys love this? You guys don't have to go out and read your these Walking Dead articles, which 90% of them are just full of fluff, and maybe 10% of them have vital information. So out of that whole article, this paragraph right here is the only bit of information that is new and somewhat interesting. So, you know, I filter this shit out for you guys. You guys don't have to read all the fluff, and you guys get to hear all the good stuff. So here's what it says. This had a similar but longer lasting impact on Maggie, who grew stronger and more determined. Glenn's death was a tragic but defining moment for Maggie. Another character deeply impacted by this story was Daryl, and how it affected him was actually an addition made to the show, since Daryl does not exist in the comics. Daryl's guilt over Glenn haunted him through season 7 and resulted in a powerful emotional scene with Maggie, who told him that she didn't blame him for what Negan did. So as sad as Glenn's death was, there was so much that wouldn't have happened if a different character had been killed in his place on The Walking Dead. So like I said, not a lot of new information there. The only reason I actually even posted it, just because of the Daryl reference. We never really we always discussed the Maggie impact that Glenn's death had on her, but we never really discussed the impact it had on Daryl. And we all know that he's felt guilty. If he did not take that swing at Negan, Negan probably would not have killed Glenn. Negan warned him. Any outbursts? He said the first one is a pass. Any more outbursts, and he would take out another one, and he kept his word. He took out Glenn. But we never really discussed that, the effect that had on Daryl. Brandy Pennick writes, I expected Glenn's death. It was Abraham that surprised me. Me too. Kimmy writes, it was Daryl's fault. Daryl was acting on emotion. He just saw Abraham get his head bashed in, and he just lost control and took a swing at Negan. It's not like it was a calculated move on Daryl's part, He didn't say, okay, yeah, this guy warned us, but I'm going to call his bluff. I'm going to take a swing at him and see what happens. He just acted out of pure impulse. He made a mistake. But hell, one of his, good friends just got killed in front of him. So, I don't really blame Daryl. I don't think it was Daryl's fault. It's Negan. It was Negan. Andrew Valentine is waving at us. Hey, Andrew. Toby writes, I have to go now. I have more art to do. Good night. Hey, Toby, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I loved your picture. I'm seriously going to send it to Madison Lintz after the show. I hope she does get to see it. I hope she contacts you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I want to show everyone the picture again. Especially anybody who's just joined us recently. This is a Sophia picture that was done by one of our viewers, Toby. And thank you so much, Toby. Alright, I hope you have a good night, and we'll see you again soon. This is the picture Toby drew. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Alright, Toby, hope you have a good night. That's so Genesis right. Wait, I have a question. Where did Maggie run off to? I've been watching the show over and over again, and I still can't figure it out. It was never directly explained to us. The only reason we find out is through conversations between characters. Maggie and Herschel Jr. went off with Georgie. Now you're asking, who's Georgie? Georgie's that woman where we saw in one episode who was trading information for records, music records. So I don't know if you remember her or not. But after her appearance on that one episode, Maggie and Georgie kept in touch through letters. So through the 6 years that we lost in the time jump, something apparently really bad happened between Michonne and Maggie that they never really explained. And Maggie took Herschel, left Hilltop. She left Hilltop to Jesus. And she's been out with Georgie. And that's all we know. That's all we know. Okay, that's so Genesis writes, yes, I remember her. So that's who Maggie has been with. Beyond that, we have no idea what she's been up to. We're going to find out. I think she has definitely met the Commonwealth, which we're going to meet here soon. We already have met them partially. But Maggie's going to have a very interesting backstory when she does come back that we're going to get to find out in season 11. And I can't wait to find out, see all those flashbacks. Hopefully we get flashbacks of what she's been up to these last couple of years. Portrayed by the amazing Jane Atkinson. And you know, Marco, I want to take a minute to address Jane Atkinson, who plays Georgie. She has been in so many TV shows. I can't even name them all. And I loved watching her on The Walking Dead because it was a break from the stereotype character that she's always played. She has always played a high-ranking government official, part of the United States President's cabinet. And Marco, did you watch House of Cards? I don't know, Marco, if you've seen House of Cards, but that was her role in that. She was on 24. She was on Criminal Minds. She was an FBI boss. She has always played this government, high-ranking government official. And I loved watching her on The Walking Dead because it was a break from what this actress has been stereotyped to play, in her recent past. So Brandy goes on. Kimmy says, who do you think the group is that Michonne met? It's probably the CRM, or part of the CRM. Brandy Panic writes, has anyone ever found out how Daryl got the scar across his eye? I can't remember it at all in the flashbacks. Saz, do you remember how Daryl got that scar across his eye? I don't remember either. Brandy on Instagram is asking. Amps is laughing. Seaworth99. No, Maggie has a son named Herschel. Yes, Herschel Jr. Marco writes, I wish she was our president now. Yeah, I agree. Amps42 writes, yes. XOX, hello. Hello, XOX. Marco's like me either. Yeah, I can't remember any other time that she's played a role, and I'm just glad to see the actress, even if it was for one episode. Marco, do you think Georgie's actually going to be back in season 11? Nobody's ever asked that question. We know Maggie's back. Are we going to see Georgie? Who knows? That's so Genesis, right? Didn't get it when he was with Negan. Wait, you're right. Didn't he get it when he was with Negan? Then who get it? Brandy Panic writes, no, I don't think so. So, anyway, let's see what else we have here. Yeah, okay. I wanted to address this. Both me and Marco get the Walking Dead news, where Marco goes on to say, yep, she needs to be around all for Maggie's return. I hope so. I love that actress. So I hope we do I hope we do get her back. And Sazchik writes, I think Daryl thought that if he hit Negan, then Daryl would be the one to get hit. He didn't realize it would be someone else. Good point, Saz. Good point. So yeah, me and Marco get the Walking Dead news, through Google Alerts in our inbox. And I just want to point out something. I'm so tired of getting these articles that supposedly point out plot holes in the storyline. In the beginning, I used to read them. And then I realized this is ridiculous. And let me just give you an example. What these supposed plot holes are, it's not even really an article, it's a blog that says fans found huge plot hole in Walking Dead storyline. What it is these fans that watch this show like frame by frame, trying to find inconsistencies. And I'm going to give you an example of one article that I read that supposedly points out a plot hole. It was when Carol and Daryl were like driving to avoid walkers, and they don't remember the scene very clearly, but their car ends up wrecked and teetering off an embankment. And that's when Daryl pushes his weight forward on the car so he can slide it off the highway and lose the walkers that are chasing them. Anyway, we have these fans who have analyzed that scene frame by frame and said there is a huge plot hole because the way the car fell, it should have landed upside down, and at that moment, both Daryl and Carol should have been killed. I'm like, come on, guys. Really? We all love the show, but when we sit down to watch anything that's science fiction, there is a part of reality that we need to suspend in order to enjoy the show or the movie or whatever the fiction is that we're watching. It's not, hard production. It's a TV show. Just let it go. It's entertainment. Okay? If it was, you want reality, go watch reality TV. Go watch the Kardashians. If that's what you want. No plot holes. And if you think that's unscripted. But if you're going to sit down and watch any scripted show, they do their best to keep it plausible and credible, but sometimes there's just no workaround to a particular scene that they want to shoot. So I stopped reading these whole plot hole articles. They're ridiculous. Once I read that whole upside down car thing, I'm like, enough of this. No way. It's crazy. Marko writes, I wish there would be walkers so we can bash their heads in. Zambika writes, if they were watching that close, they don't watch. Jeez. Oh, man. There are people out there that watch The Walking Dead frame by frame, and they're out there just looking for inconsistencies. I don't know why, but they do. Saschik goes on to say, it was never really mentioned, probably wear and tear over the years, in regards to the scar over Daryl's eye. Saschik writes, it was never really mentioned or anything. Just out of all the fights, all the stuff that he's been through over 17 years in the apocalypse, I totally buy that. Totally buy that. Hard Production writes, I see one talking about the grass and how it wasn't long enough. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. It's just, it's nuts. Sorry, I lost my Instagram feed there for a second. There we go, brought it back up. So anyway, our base topic tonight, we're going to be comparing characters between Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead. Characters who are in kind of sort of the same role between the two shows, but not really. As always, definitely want your guys' input. This was a great topic that Marko came up with. So, right off the bat, comparing leaders, Rick to Madison. When I first started watching Fear the Walking Dead, and episode 1, and we got introduced to the characters, I guess this was my male bias kicking in subconsciously. I thought Travis was going to be the leader. And I admit, that's my male bias, and I'm so glad that I was wrong. And it was Madison. I liked Madison. She was a guidance counselor pre-apocalypse. And her driving force for anybody that watches Fear is her children. She does whatever she does to protect her children. Brandy writes, Madison was a badass. I'm still hoping she isn't dead. Yeah, my biggest, thing that irks me about Fear the Walking Dead is the very poor death that these major characters get. Like, let's say Madison is gone, and she died in that fire. Really? She was a leader for 4 years on that show. That's the death you're going to give her? And we don't even get to see it. So, I have a feeling she might be back. I really would not be surprised. So let's see. I'm just scrolling through you guys' chats. Andrew Valentine writes, Madison could still be alive. I think she very well could be. Marko writes, I would have loved for them to connect her with a character on The Walking Dead. Yeah, Marko has mentioned to me that he would have loved for there to be like a family relationship between like Madison and Rick that just gets brought up, you know, like they were distant cousins or something. Just another way to tie the two shows together. You know, I'm not saying Rick should be on Fear the Walking Dead or Madison on The Walking Dead, but just another little small piece to connect the two shows together. But Madison, like Rick, made her stupid moves. I don't know if you guys remember when they were in the hotel in season 2 or 3, and she turns on the lights so Nick can see them to sort of signal to him. But not only did it attract Nick, it attracted every living person. And they had at their gates every survivor wanting to be let in. So that was a stupid move on her behalf. Summer writes, love Strand. His voice, he saved Nick in the beginning and got the group to Abigail. That's right. Hard Production writes, anyone else a big fan of Daniel? Oh, everyone. Me and Marko are fans of Daniel. I love Daniel Salazar. He's a fascinating character on Fear the Walking Dead. And we know that he has a dark history in, I think it was, being part of the El Salvador military. He did some really badass shit, some bad shit to people. And he wasn't a very good guy. And I love his backstory. He's mysterious. He's a pure badass. And I love Daniel Salazar. Brandy Panic writes, I freaking love Strand. I love Strand too. Marko doesn't like Strand too much. Marko's not a big Strand fan. I love Strand. I think he's very charismatic. He was a selfish bastard for 4 years on this show. He did turn around. He did turn it around. And if he can get Daniel over to his side, as he did in this last season that we saw, then we can, rest assured that Strand has made a full turnaround, from being that selfish bastard that he was. Zambika37 writes, Daniel is my favorite. Brandy Panic writes, he is great. I loved him and his cat. Yeah, I remember the cat. Daniel is cool. Marko writes, he gets it. Yep, he does get it. He understands the world they're living in right now. Sandra Carroll writes, hopefully Morgan will come back to The Walking Dead. I don't think so. Right now, you guys have to remember one thing. Because of the time jump The Walking Dead did, the Fear the Walking Dead is back 6-7 years in time. So The Walking Dead is ahead in the timeline of Fear by 6 to 7 years. Now, unless they start this season and they do a 6-year time jump on Fear to put the timelines back synchronized, Fear the Walking Dead is 6 years behind The Walking Dead. So that is what makes me really believe that Morgan is not going to come back to The Walking Dead. And I believe Lemmy, who plays Morgan, he volunteered. He wanted to go over to The Walking Dead, to Fear the Walking Dead. He volunteered to go over. Sandra Cowell writes about Morgan coming back. I read that. Zambika writes, I think Daniel to Daryl to compare. Yeah. Actually, Marko has Daryl to Travis to compare, which I don't see that comparison. Daryl hands down all the way. But you're right, Zambika. A Daniel to Daryl comparison, that's more like it. Like who's You know, Daryl does not have the backstory that Daniel has. Daryl became a badass in the apocalypse. Daniel was a bad person before the apocalypse. And we know that he escaped all that, moved his family to Los Angeles, where he was just a barber. But we know he has a dark history. Uh, Andrew writes, Strand likes his wine. He absolutely does. Brandy writes, rumor has it there will be another crossover soon. I heard that as well. We'll see. Lester Avo. Hey, Lester, thank you for joining us on Instagram. Brandy Panic also writes, Travis was literally a pussy, sorry. It's okay. You didn't think that moment, you know, with Travis in the hotel when he confronts the guys who let Chris die and he totally went apeshit on them? You don't think that was kind of a turning point for him, Brandy? He was a wuss. He was Mr. Conservative, Mr. doesn't like risk taking. But I think that moment, he sort of turned a corner. I do remember Tobias. Hard Production writes, does anybody remember Tobias on Fear the Walking Dead? If you guys don't, Tobias was in season 1 as the apocalypse was just starting to unfold. Tobias was the student at Madison School who brought that kitchen knife with him to school. And he was telling her that something bad is coming. And he knew what was going on. And, you know, Hard Productions, I would love, and Marko also mentioned this as well, for them to bring Tobias back in some way. After all these years, now he's a full-grown man. He was a high schooler. So he must be, you know, in his early 30s maybe, if you follow the timeline. And I would love if he's still alive somewhere and they sort of bring him back into the show. That would be great. That would only be great if Madison is still alive. If Madison is dead and she doesn't come back, nobody's going to know who he is. And he's not going to know who Madison's people are, which is really just Alicia left. Zambika writes, well, he was an addict, not to be mean, but usually addicts are only about themselves. Oh, that's true. Marko writes, the most underrated character. Kimmy writes, I thought he might be the masked man. Are you talking about Morgan? No, Morgan is not the masked man. The masked man is from the Commonwealth. The masked man is, or woman. I think it's more of a woman figure than a man. A lot of people would disagree with me, but I think that from that trailer that we saw, that masked ninja person, I'm gonna get all like crazy like those people who analyze the show scene by scene. If you really kind of pause on the shot and look at that picture, it could be a man, but it could also very well be a woman. So let's see. Andrew Valentin writes about Tobias, fat kid with the knife. Yeah, yes. Principal attacked him. Yeah, that's Tobias. Tobias was the sort of outcast kid in season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead, who did bring a kitchen knife to school. And Madison was the guidance counselor. And she would get into trouble. He would get into trouble because he knew something bad was coming, but nobody believed him. I just want to get to the next comparison before we stop for tonight and pick this up again tomorrow. Alicia and Michonne. Now, Marko, that's a great comparison. Alicia was annoying in the first couple of seasons of Fear the Walking Dead. She was a spoiled, bratty teenager. And whiny. She was whiny. You know, when they were on the boat, Abigail, she told those people, that guy that she had a radio relationship with, where they were, and then they pirated the ship. She made some stupid ass decisions. And I love Alicia right now. The Alicia that we have right now, I love her. Kimmy writes, Tobias may be the masked man. I seriously doubt that. I seriously doubt that. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe Maggie the ninja? No. Guys, the ninja is nobody we've met before. I'm like almost 100% positive. That ninja person is nobody we have ever seen before. I think it's a reinforcement that Maggie has sent in from the Commonwealth. It could be Mercer. Okay? Mercer's a character we have not met yet, who's in the comics, who's a big part of the Commonwealth. He's like in charge of the army at the Commonwealth. It could be him. It could be anyone else. But I'm telling you, you guys should really be asking this, who is that person that's holding Aaron up at gunpoint? That is somebody we do know. That is someone that Aaron knows, just by the look on his face. So instead of us trying to figure out who the masked ninja person is, who we just don't know. And it's nobody we've ever met before. I can almost guarantee you that. You know, I'll tell you that we should be asking, who is that person that's holding Aaron up? That's with the Whisperers. That is somebody we do know. And anyone's theory is plausible on that one. Carito is waving at us. Hey, Carito, thank you for joining us. Zambika writes, started out slow, then turned badass, both of them. Zambika writes, compared to Carol. Yeah, if you're comparing Alicia and Carol, Alicia was a whiny teen, spoiled. Yeah, she had a right to be pissed at Nick, her brother, for hogging all the attention and being a drug addict. But Alicia has become a pure badass. And I'm glad, you know, she's one of the ones they decided to keep on the show. She's great. I love Alicia. I think she's become a fascinating character. I love the relationship between her and Charlie. I love the friendship that has grown between her and Morgan. I think Alicia is badass. She has really changed, as you would expect to be changed in this zombie apocalypse. But anyway, guys, we're out of time for tonight. This hour just flies by, I'll tell you. This hour just flies by. We are going to pick this up again tomorrow. I think this is a fascinating conversation. Andrew agrees. Right, who is holding the gun to Aaron? That's the question we should be asking. Who's holding up Aaron? We'll find out. That is somebody we do know. Anyway, guys, I'm out of time. I want to thank all you guys for participating. You guys make this show what it is. Thank you to Marko. Thank you to Zambika. Thank you to Brandy, sorry. All these Sandra, Kimmy, Andrew, Zambika, everybody on Instagram, Hard Production, Saz, as always, Saz, you're amazing. Summer, I'm glad you did not get hit by that storm and you still have power. I will be back on the air again tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. as I am every day. Thank you so much. Please visit our website located at deadtalklive.com. If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel and you want to support us after the show, you know, and if you're not already on YouTube, head on over to YouTube and look us up. Our channel is called Walking Dead Now. And please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. And until then, stay walking.